We're in Perevalnoye again, that Ukrainian base that is surrounded by Russian troops with no way in and no way out without their say-so. No way out certainly applies to the Ukrainian troops, and no way in is a matter of judgment as far as the Russian officers are concerned. It's been a tense night. Let's take you a little closer to the barricades here. It's been a tense night with these rumours circulating, coming, we believe, from the Ukrainian Defence Ministry about the potential of a Russian attack if the Ukrainian forces didn't what they call surrender by 3 o'clock. In the end, Russian sources dispelled that as nonsense, they said. Nevertheless, it meant for an uneasy night for the people here in Ukraine. This is the setup this morning. You see the changing of the guard here. Russian troops, they've just been relieved by their comrades. They're heading back to their base some 300 meters down the road. I say base, but actually it's a collection of tanks surrounded by armored vehicles, which has become a temporary encampment. We still don't know whether these soldiers are soldiers that were based in Sevastopol or if they're part of a Russian contingent that came across the border a week ago. There are still, of course, these stories around. There are now 16,000 Russian troops on Ukrainian soil, but that again has come from the Ukrainian Defence Ministry, and we aren't clear on whether or not those numbers are accurate, or whether indeed those are soldiers that have come from the base in Sevastopol, already in Crimea, or have come across the border from Russia. Both sides are pushing the spin. The Russians are pushing it by facts on the ground that we start to film, and the Ukrainians are pushing it by putting out these red alerts every now and then that something has deteriorated. There's an airbase near Sevastopol, for example, called Belbek, and we heard last night that shots were fired there as Ukrainians tried to go back into the base that is their own, and the Russians repelled them with a few shots. And Katie Stellar, our Moscow correspondent, is on her way there to check that out as we speak. But again, it's not clear whether or not that actually happened. There is no barricade here, there is no line, but if we approach these militia here, civilians, Ukrainian civilians, will advance on us and tell us not to come any further. So if I come here, can we come any further? They'll just shake their heads. No, they're shouting. It's out of the question. This is the line that they have drawn. It's further back than it was yesterday. But these guys, they're not they're okay, but we think they've been here all night in a tent, and there's plenty of empty bottles around, so they're not really the crowd that we want to necessarily engage with. Further down there on the gate, there's members of the Ukrainian soldiers' families there trying to communicate with the people inside. The Russians have let them come to the gate so they can talk through the bars, but that's as far as that goes. All this, a tiny area of a small, no-consequence town in the Crimea, is becoming one of the sources of extraordinary tension around the world, through Kiev and into international diplomacy beyond, which is why, of course, John Kerry is on his way, or may even be in Kiev right now.